I am Ryan Boldt, and this is Deep Dark Dives.
Oh, don't you remember a long time ago, those two little babies, their names I don't know. They were stolen away one bright summer's day and left in a wood, so I've heard folks say. Pretty babes in the wood, pretty babes in the wood. Oh, don't you remember those babes in the wood? Now the day being long and the night coming on, those two little babies sat under a stone. They sobbed and they sighed, they bitterly cried. Those two little babies, they laid down and died. Pretty babes in the wood, pretty babes in the wood. Oh, don't you remember those babes in the wood? Now the robins so red, how swiftly they sped. They put out their wide wings and over them spread, and all the day long on branches among they sweetly did whistle, and this was their song. Pretty babes in the wood, pretty babes in the wood. Oh, don't you remember those babes in the wood?
I learned it off of the Tim Hart and Matty Pryor old song, folk songs of Old England. Sing folk songs of Old England, Volume 1. They're from Steel Eye Span, original members of Steel Eye Span, with Ashley Hutchins and Martin Carthy. But yeah, it's I think it was found by the Copper family. Well, refound by the Copper family. They made it popular. Who are from Sussex, East Sussex, England, where Shirley Collins is from. Yeah, the Copper Families is a cappella. Shirley Collins has one that's a cappella. She's also got one called Lost in the Wood, which is kind of the same story, different melody. Yeah. And it's with her and her sister, Dolly Collins. Yeah, it's a pretty song, very pretty. Yeah, it's it's I think it started as an old fairy tale about they're orphans. The parents die, and the uncle, he wants their inheritance, so he takes them out to with a buddy or something. I think he brings a buddy with him to kill the kids into the forest, and I guess the other buddy there can't bring himself to kill children, so kills the uncle, and then just leaves the kids in the woods to die, so he doesn't have to kill them. And they die. They die in the woods, and then the robins, bury them with leaves, and that's a fairy tale that they told the kids back in the days. But in the song, they don't tell the bits about the uncle. It's just kids dying in the woods and robins burying them with leaves. It's a tragic story, yeah. Yeah, but the melody, I think it was written by Gardner, I believe his name was, like the modern melody. William Gardner was, a lot of those old classical songs were based on melodies of basic folk songs from the common folks. Shirley Collins did this song on her Sweet Primroses album. About 3 years ago, we were in Brighton. We played a show in Brighton, and I emailed Shirley Collins. She lives in Lewis, which is like 25 minutes from Brighton. And I emailed her and said it was my birthday, and I got a day off. And she said, "Why don't you come over for tea?" And so I did. I went over to her house with Casey and Clayton. They were on tour with me, and we showed up, walked down a little path to her house, and the door was open. She's in the kitchen, like fixing some tea, and we walk in, and it was amazing. And then sitting on the table was a birthday cake that said "Happy Birthday, Ryan." So I ate the cake with Shirley. She told us all sorts of amazing stories, like the first time she met Mississippi Fred McDowell. She was the first person to ever record Mississippi Fred McDowell, which is, he had that big song, Highway 61, which influenced everyone, the Rolling Stones and Bob Dylan and everybody. He had a lot to do with rock and roll music. Shirley Collins was the one that recorded that song for the first time. Anyway, she told us those stories. Stories of her going to America with Alan Lomax and stuff, and meeting Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix coming to her home and holding her kids, and pretty amazing stories. This woman, and she lives in like this tiny little house, and she influenced everybody. She found all these amazing people and made these amazing records. And so then we were all done for the day, and she walked us up to the pub where we could get some Copper Ale, which is the Copper family ale. They have it in Lewis. That's where they're from. And she'd heard that we did Babes in the Wood, and she said, "Oh, I should have got you to sing Babes in the Wood at the house." So she stopped us in the middle of the road, and we all sang Babes in the Wood with Shirley Collins on the street of Lewis. And people were like walking past, as we're singing Babes in the Wood. It was truly, one of the greatest musical moments of my life. Probably the greatest musical moment of my life. Singing in the streets of Lewis, the home of the Copper family, and Shirley Collins with Shirley Collins. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah, that's Babes in the Wood and Shirley Collins and the Copper family and Tim Hart and Matty Pryor.